Hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're well. Well, today we're going to talk about the kidneys and some of the main diseases in the kidneys. But most of all, we're going to talk about the emotions behind the kidneys, those deep hidden emotions behind them. Those, the most of the time, are unconscious. Those emotions that we haven't talked to anybody, we haven't tell no one, we are just keeping it to ourselves. And at one point they have to come out. And the best way to come out is as a symptom or as a disease. Now, in one of my last videos, if there is a symptom, there is a story, which I'm going to leave you right here for you. In that video, I spoke about it, how we get sick and why we get sick. We get sick because we have a history behind us. Now, we can have the history behind us, but we don't need to have the symptom. Now, if we do have the symptom or the disease, we definitely have the history behind us. Now, it's very important the perception that we put into that. The perception will determine of how we're gonna go through this situation, and that will determine also if we're gonna get sick or we don't gonna get sick. Now, when we talk about the kidneys, I have to take you to far away in that embryonic process. Yes, the pregnancy, that place where we were in that watery state inside our mom's womb. We need to go there because the kidneys don't develop until 16 weeks into the pregnancy. And they do cover full function once we are out of the sea, I like to call it. Once we are out of that bag of water, the uterus. Once we get out, those kidneys cover total function of them. Now, when we talk about the kidneys, we have to look for an emotion of total loss of territory. And what do I call territory? A territory, I call it everything that is mine. My body, my house, my husband, my kids, my family, my plant, my dog, my car, my job, my money. Everything that I consider mine, that will be considered my territory. So when we have issues with our kidneys, we have to look for a total loss of my territory. Sometimes it's even an existential loss on myself, where I feel completely lost in life. Now, because also the kidneys have that function about how to regulate the liquids, we also talk about conflicts with liquidity, with money, with the money, my money, the money I have, or anything that it's for me material, that it's always money behind. But of course, because water was the connection that we have with water is the connection we have with our mother when we were in that bag, when we were in that womb for 9 months or less for some of us. That connection with our mother also will tell us that if we have issues with our kidneys, we may have to look for a conflict with our mother. But also, as I always say, but in kidneys, definitely, we need to look for a family tree. We need to look for our ancestors, and we need to look for those total loss of territory, loss of money, loss of maybe even a mother, and that created conflicts, and we are carrying them unconsciously with us. Now, when we have water retention, let's start with some of the common diseases. Water retention is talking about I need to retain my mother. Maybe this happens because you don't have a mother. I mean, you do have a mother, but you never had your mother figure around you. And unconsciously, the best way to retain your mother, to keep your mother close to you, is by retaining liquid, because that liquid will take you back to that embryonic process that we were talking about earlier. But also to retain the money that I have, because maybe you're losing too much money, more money is going out than in, and you need to retain it. And that also, but it also, the water in the womb, where we were inside the womb, was to protect us. So when we are retaining liquids, we also need to look for those emotions where I feel I need to protect myself from the outside. If I have liquids around me, I can protect myself of any aggression from the outside. We do a lot of water retention in our feet, and I have a whole video about it here. I'm gonna leave you right here. And in that video, I explain about the relationship between feet and the mother. And then that's how you will have to look. What is it that you're retaining? Maybe you're retaining your mother because it's a separation, physical or emotional separation with the mother. And now unconsciously, you need to retain her, keep her close to you. And the best way to do is by doing water retention. Now, kidney stones. Kidney stone is like putting a plug. It's literally like putting a plug, so no more money is going out of me. Because maybe you go into a situation where there's a lot of money getting out, but not enough money coming in. So it's literally, I put this plug so no more money goes out. This is what we do, of course, unconsciously. Now, also with kidney stones, we need to look for leaks in the house. Like maybe it's a roof that is leaking, maybe it's a tap that is leaking, some broken pipes, maybe you had a flood in your house. It's more water coming in than coming out. And that also goes together sometimes with the money that it's coming in and the water that it's coming in. Now, with glomuronephritis, I mean, I even struggle in Spanish with this word. Glomuronephritis, nephritis, I think it is. Anyways, this one refers to a person devaluation, where the person feels that it's in the middle of a collapse. The person is collapsing. They feel this way. Now, with the glomerulonephritis, we always have to find that big rage you may have with somebody. That rage that you are not willing to get out of it, to let go of it, sometimes to forgive this person. Instead, you prefer to collapse yourself than let go of this, because sometimes the person doesn't even know how to do it. Kidney failure talks about insufficient and failing, but insufficient money that it's coming into me. Insufficient mother also, because when we talk about kidney failure, we also is when we have to look for that relationship with the mother, that insufficient love maybe that I felt, or insufficient mother that I had. I didn't have a sufficient mother in my life. Or maybe I feel insufficient in my role as a mother. I do remember a case that I had where this young lady had a child where he born with kidney failure. And when we look at her family tree, her grandmother, the great-grandmother of this child, had lost everything, had lost her territory, her house, her money, everything, for a bad business that she had done, and she lost it all completely. But the bad business that this lady did, she did actually with one of her sons. Her son took all her money. Now, this young lady that was consulting with me and we were analyzing her family tree, and with her son with kidney failure, well, she was pregnant of this baby. She had insufficient money. She had zero money while she was pregnant. Some days she didn't even have money to eat. So that, together with the story of this grandmother, it goes together. Now I have a child and I have no money whatsoever. So this child born already with a kidney failure. So renal agenesis. Renal agenesis is when somebody borns without a kidney, one or both of them. Now, when we have renal agenesis, we have to look at the pregnancy of that mother also, with all of this that we're talking about, but we also have to look, just like the story that I was telling you about kidney failure, we need to look at the family tree. Who is that child? Who is that child representing in that family tree? That child has born with a total loss of the kidney, because that family already went through total loss of something. Now, cancer in the kidneys. When we have cancer in the kidney, we need to look of everything that I just spoke about it, but also with a big fear of existing, with a big fear of being part of this family that I have for some reason. People with cancer in their kidneys need to look for that total loss, where actually they feel they are a total loss as a person, loss as a human being. Now, one thing that it's interesting to know, that when somebody comes from a family where they were total loss, money loss, territory loss, but mostly money loss, you will find that the new generations tend to be accountants, because they are trying to repair that family tree. So it's an unconscious way to say, because there already were total losses in my family, people didn't know how to count money, they didn't know how to do numbers, and for that reason they lost everything. The younger generations will come as accountants. Now, if you are an accountant and you're not doing good in your career, in your job, I suggest you do a session and you learn about your family tree, because those unconscious memories are still in you. Yes, you came with an unconscious idea, I'm gonna be an accountant, without maybe even knowing that your great-grandfather was the one that lost everything, or he gambled all the money, lost everything. He didn't know how to calculate the money, how to keep the money, or how to make money coming in and not coming out. And you are maybe struggling as an accountant because you still carrying those stories from them, but trying to make it better, but unconsciously you can make it better. The professions that we choose also tells us a lot about ourselves and a lot about our family tree. And it's always so important to know who you are, where you're coming from, because that will give you a clue of who you truly are today. I hope this video has helped you, and until next video, take care and bye-bye.